Good morning, students. Today we come to almost the end of this chapter, but yes, certain things I have not covered, and I expect them to be covered by you. Okay. Uh, where Yesterday we were talking about, the granary and the houses, how the grid pattern was done, and essentially talking about the grid infrastructure and also some kind of central planning that was involved. Okay, but it Indus Valley civilization is not just about the prominent sites of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. Uh, there are, especially in my opinion, there are a few very important sites. The first one, Lothal, is a very important one, and it was one of the centers of bead manufacturing and the manufacturing of other tools as well. So that's an important one. But there's one thing, but there is one site, especially. Which is there in your map if you see properly, that is Dholavira. Yes. Um, it's not there mentioned in the chapter, as I don't think so, but Dholavira is remarkable for one thing, and which is not found in the other sites as extensively as it is found there, which is the water harvesting techniques. Yes, it is. Because it was in the run of Kutch, which is, is a very dry and an arid land. So they always used to have water related issues. So the people, in fact, almost four and a half thousand years from today, they had devised the mechanism of water harvesting, and whereby they had made pits for the rainwater to be collected and to be used when uh, the season was dry. So, in my opinion, Dholavira happens to be a very important location, and it clearly shows and reflects how intelligent and smart the people were. Definitely something which we do not follow even today, right? But people then were following it. Now, there is one more thing which I would like to mention, uh, which is about Rakhi Gari. This site is now very much. It's one of the most talked about sites these days because very late excavations have happened there, and this site had somehow escaped the attention of the archaeologists, and now it is considered to be one of the most remarkable. Yeah, good morning, students. Yesterday we were studying about the granary of Indus Valley civilization, and uh, how also kind of confusion or confusion about the fact that whether it was actually a granary, because uh, people in India have not usually collected their grains inside rooms. We have usually used earthen pots, and even in those areas, even today, they use earthen pots and they do not collect grains inside the rooms. Now, but I would like to mention and introduce certain sites to you. those sites, of course, have been shown in the maps in your chapter, but they're not much. What is remarkable, or rather, what makes them remarkable, is something I would like to point at. The first one, which immediately comes to my mind, is Dholavir. Okay, why I find Dholavira quite interesting and honestly ahead of its time is Dholavira had extensive water harvesting mechanism in its area of habitation. The people who lived there, almost every home has a water harvesting mechanism to it, where the rainwater is getting collected. And as you know, Dholavira is in the area of Run of Kutch, which surely is a very dry and an arid land, and though close to sea, but then definitely that water not fit for drinking and not fit for consumption. So that is something which is very unique and much ahead of its times. If you talk about a water harvesting technique that was being employed and used 4,500 years ago from today. So uh, that's Dholavira, definitely I find, because it's very innovative. There are a lot of places, a lot of sites which can be considered to be ancient sites, but then something which is very path breaking, something which is being employed even now, that is Dholavira immediately comes to my mind. Then I would also like to mention, which I find very interesting, is Lothal. Lothal, because Indus Valley sites have had, almost every site is very, is replete with beads of different kinds and different varieties. And Lothal was surely one of the very important sites of bead manufacturing. Uh, and the last site which comes to my mind, though uh, we have started excavating. That site is in India, in Haryana, in fact. And very lately, we have started excavation, and archaeologists have taken notice to it. But it is unraveling some very interesting facts about Indus Valley civilization, and not just that. It's also about who we or rather who we actually as people we are, where we actually came from. That is, we're talking about people who live in North India, people who live in South India, and those kind of things. And if and coming to the conclusion, if you burial sites now, burial sites happen to be one of the